So,
Oh, you probably have more
oh,
than one.
well, I hope so, but
Yeah, I'm sure you do. So did everything go okay at the show
oh,
last
it was
weekend?
it was great. We had
Good.
a fantastic time. It rained on a Saturday morning, and it delayed the show about an hour and a half on Saturday. But one thing I am glad I did was take a coat because Friday night up
It
there
was
it got
cold.
cold,
Mm-hmm.
and wow, we had some great bands up there, and just had a big time, and
Good.
yeah, so it was fun, and but I'm glad to be back.
I'm glad you're back too. I always miss you when you're not here.
I know you told me that in that little email you sent me.
Woke you up, didn't I?
You did, yeah. You
Uh-huh.
pounded me on that.
It was all in fun.
It was,
It was
it
all in
was.
fun.
So, and that's we have a good time here. So,
Yes, we do.
Friday mornings is special.
Yep, we have a good time on the air and off the air. So
That's right.
it's all good.
That's right.
We're gonna have another great show today.
Oh, yes, we are.
We
And
got a guest here today that's got some great information. We haven't had anyone on before who does this.
mm-mm.
So this will be some brand new information for all of our listeners out there.
Yeah.
And so why don't we give out our phone numbers? Because I would imagine we're going to get some calls on this one.
Let's do that. 862-9977, 1-800-375-0056. Or since we're so high in technology here, you can now text us at 417-838-3192, and we'll read your question on the air. And so that's how you can call in and get a hold of us. Free call.
That's right. It's a free call. And, the best time to get your questions answered is when we have the expert sitting here.
That's right.
Sometimes we get calls later after the show, and we're just not experts on everything.
No,
So
we try, but we're
we
not.
try. We try to be as helpful as we can. But, the best time to get your questions answered is when we have the expert
That's
right
right.
here with us in the studio that can give you the answer.
Yep, that's right.
So don't be shy. Call in if you have a question
Yep.
today.
And we do have an actual expert in here.
We do. We do.
Don't know what on, but he's an expert. I can tell
He's
by
an
looking
expert.
at him.
He is. He just shows it's professional all over.
That's
so
right.
It's all
Absolutely.
good. But we do have Tom with us today. Tom is with Central Vac. John was going to be here, but he wasn't able to come with you today. But we're happy to have you here today.
Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome. And a Central Vac is something that I don't know how many people have very much information on it. I don't know a lot about them. So I'm excited to have you here today because every time we have these professionals on, I learn so much stuff.
Oh, yeah, me
So
too.
it's great for me. It's always a learning hour for me, which I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also great for all of our listeners to find out that you're available, you're here in Springfield, and what kind of services you can provide to our listeners. So why don't we start out by letting our listeners know what it is that you can do for them as far as a vacuuming system in their home or business?
Well, Mary, a central vacuum system is permanently installed in a home or an existing home, an office, commercial. And what it is, it's installed in a situation in your home where you might put the unit out in your garage or utility closet or room. And then it's plumbed to the house just like you would your plumbing, your sewage and drainage system. And then you have these inlets strategically placed through the house where you would go plug a hose in, the unit automatically comes on, and then you just vacuum your carpeted areas, your hardwood floors, tile, and like that. Just replaces a portable vacuum sweeper.
So you don't have any cords or anything to plug anything in. You just take the hose itself and plug that into an outlet, and it automatically turns the system on at that point.
Yeah, what happens when you lift the door up and the valve to insert the hose? There's a low voltage electrical connection to that, and then the switch is on the hose, and it turns on the main central unit. And then the systems that we use are a true cyclonic unit that has a lot of power in it, and our power heads do not use any electricity. That uses the airflow that's sustained through the vacuum system itself to turn the power head more efficient and faster than an electric power head, which is other types of systems. There's a lot of different type systems out there, but the one that we use is the cyclonic that uses the airflow to turn the power head. And then you have an on-off switch at the hose for convenience if you just want to shut it off to go mind something else, answer the door, or something like that. But yeah, no cords to haul around. You do have a hose which is around 30 foot long, and which is probably about the same distance as a cord-on upright vacuum sweeper or something like that. So you are pulling the hose around.
Uh-huh.
But but you don't want to be unplugging it, moving it everywhere. So you can get, in some situations, not counting furniture and things, you're going to get a 60-foot radius out of that hose that way.
Right. Explain cyclonic.
Cyclonic is a good question. Most vacuums, whether it's a portable, an upright push-along canister or whatever, you have to have airflow coming through that system, and the airflow is going to go through a filtration system, and it's usually going to be a bag, a filter, or a combination of both, and then the air has to travel through that filtration system and go out through an exhaust. And what happens when you do something like that, the dirt going through there, it just it goes right up against that filter, the bag, and it starts clogging up that bag, and immediately you're going to start losing power. That's why a lot of times you have to empty your bags or change your bags before it even gets full because you've lost that power. A cyclonic unit is going to use a tornado type. I know that's not probably a good thing to talk about this time of year, but it uses that's where it gets its name at. It's a tornado, and it brings all your dirt in and it separates it out, even the light stuff. It falls to the bottom of the canister, then the filtered air goes back up through the center of that vortex, and it goes out through an exhaust system out of your house. And because of that, you don't have any filters or bags, and you never lose the power. And that's why you're able to use this vacuum continually and always have the same power today, tomorrow, next month. It's still going to be the same. And with no bags or filters replaced, big convenience for the homeowner, and you don't always have to be looking at see what the bag's doing and all that, which kind of leads into the health issue too. When you can vent that air outside, you're going to eliminate the possibilities of having the small microparticles that would not get filtered out. And so it's 100%. What you pick up is going to end up in that canister, or the small particles would end up outside, just kind of like a dryer vent would.
Okay, I see. So there's nothing to empty out. There's no container anywhere to empty, or is there? Or how, I'm still a little confused how all of that gets out of the house without collecting somewhere, or.
Well, all the dirt don't go out the house. That cyclonic unit, like I was talking about, the dirt falls into a 5-gallon canister.
So you do have a collection.
To the unit, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. That you do have to empty out periodically.
Periodically, yeah.
Okay.
Depending on the size of the house, clean habits, it might go 3 months or so, and then you just got to unhook it and just dump it in your trash can and let the trash can haul it off.
Okay. You mentioned filters. I know some of the newer vacuum cleaners that they've come up with all these HEPA filters and all that, and that sounds really cool until you buy one and start using it. And now I'm trying to find replacement filters. It can be a real issue. And then I have one that I can wash. I think mine has like 3 filters in it now or something, and it just drives me crazy because I can't keep up with all that stuff. I mean, I'm washing this one and I'm trying to find the replacement for this one, and you go to this store and that store and they don't have it, and it's just nuts. So I get the idea of having these filters to keep to filter all that stuff out and collect all that stuff, which they do. But then it seems like there's a lot of maintenance with it. For me, I just there's no bags anymore in vacuum cleaners, or most of them, I think. And the bagless thing is a pretty neat option because you can just like dump the container over the trash or whatever. But those filters drive me nuts.
Yeah.
They just drive me nuts.
Well,
and I don't know why it got so complicated, or maybe it's just me.
And
I don't know.
Another thing about your vacuum cleaners that drives me nuts is when the bag gets full, your vacuum cleaner loses power. It don't you'll be vacuuming like well, I'm still leaving stuff on the floor, so it's not picking anything up. You go to change the bag, it makes a mess. You put more dirt right back into the house because you're changing that. The nice thing about a central vac system is the fact that it is either in the garage or a utility closet, something like that. So when you do go to empty that, you don't have any of that stuff inside your house. You're throwing it in your trash dumpster or whatever and putting it back on, and away you go. So to me, it's a lot cleaner. And so you're not dealing with that like you would a conventional vacuum. My vacuum, I have to confess, I haven't bought a vacuum in a long time. And the one I have right now, one of our houses that we bought and remodeled, this nice Sears vacuum cleaner was there. Well, I guess the belt had broke on it, and the people didn't know how to fix it, so they just left it. And I put a new belt on it and stuff. But if you look on that on the exhaust where the exhaust comes out, I have to constantly clean that because it's amazing the amount of dirt that's coming right back into the room when you vacuum. And
Yeah, mine does that too.
Yeah.
And so it's a little, it's kind of, it feels like it's a waste of time.
Yeah. Oh,
almost,
yeah.
Because you're vacuuming, it's pulling it up here and it's shooting it out over here.
yeah, exactly.
You're just recycling your dirt, I think.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Well, like they said about those HEPA filters and things like that, they're doing that just to try to get the air cleaner and stuff like that. And if you're
Right.
seeing 3 filters on a vacuum cleaner, that's something that they've this ain't working right. So they just keep adding filters. And again, when you add filters, you're blocking the airflow, and you just don't get that power. And and about you're better off dusting afterwards, because if you dust before you vacuum, you're just going to be dusting again.
You're
because
exactly right. You're
it just
exactly
comes
right.
through and it settles.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So, now we were talking earlier before the show, and I know that you put these in new homes, which would be the opportune time, I would think, to install it, because then you can do all the rough in and do things like that at the appropriate time. But you can also put these in existing homes.
That is correct. A new home under construction is the opportune time to put them in. But however, we've been putting central vacuums in Springfield for almost 40 years, and we was the first ones in Springfield to do this, and so we've got this down pretty good. We can go into an existing home, and we come out there and take a look at it, and we figure out the best method to get this roughed in, and no exposed pipes and things like that. And we're pretty good about doing that. And but yeah, we can put them in an existing home, no problem. We don't shy away from that. And our goal is to make Springfield a more powerful vacuum cleaning company that has a central vacuum in it, and we will not turn anybody down. We'll go look at it and see the situation, and we'll come up with a solution.
Does most of your all of your piping and everything that you were talking about you have to run for this to work, do you put most of that in the crawl space like you do plumbing and HVAC and all that, or can you put it overhead, or where do you mostly put that?
We can do it either way. If a person has a crawl space home and we're just going to put it in there, whether it's new or existing, we definitely go down. We go down to the crawl space and bring it out through into the garage and get it vented outside. The less pipe, the better. And
Okay.
and of course, going down's better. But if it's a 2-story home, sometimes we got to go up in the attic and things like that. Some of it, might go up, might go down.
I see.
But we try to do it the best way we can to where the vacuum's going to perform to its maximum proficiency, and we'll take the hard route to get the better job.
Okay, and then I have a question. I don't know how many vacuum cleaners I've bought. It's ridiculous how many I've bought, because I seem to, and I've bought inexpensive and I bought real expensive, and always at some point in time they just die or whatever. I can't even imagine how much money I've spent on vacuum cleaners over the past 30 years. So I'm wondering, for something like this, it almost seems like you would have less issues with this type of system than you do like an upright or canister that you're dragging around and plug it in and all that kind of thing. So what's the life expectancy of one of these built-in systems? Is it?
The life expectancy is forever, because our vacuums have a lifetime guarantee on them.
There we go.
Wow.
I did not know that.
That's a good question, because even yesterday I was at a client's house, and she had her vacuum for 25 years.
Her central vac.
And her motor went bad,
Uh-huh.
and we replaced that. If you buy a central vacuum from us, the unit has a lifetime warranty, and
Wow.
and after 3 years, all you'd pay would be the service call.
Okay.
And but now the tools, the power heads, and things like that, they all have they have a 3-year warranty on
Okay.
those, and that's something that you just can't guarantee for life. But
Right.
the unit is VacuFlow is the brand that we premier. VacuFlow was invented in 1955. As far as the vacuum, it's made by a company called HP up in Iowa, and it's kind of an interesting story how it came about. But however, it was invented in 1955. They pioneered the central vacuum system and the cyclonic, and a lot of people might not think about that, but the cyclonic's been around that long, and so they're made in America with the lifetime warranty, like I've mentioned. And you talk to people like yourself that say they might go through a vacuum every 3 or 5 years.
Yeah.
If you was to compare the price of our vacuum to be installed in a normal situation, normal house, 1-story, 2-story home, 1,500, 2,500 square foot home, the vacuum would be less than buying a major brand from a door-to-door salesman. We would be cheaper than
Wow.
than those guys. And so yes, it does. It would pay for itself over your lifetime. It adds value to your home. We've been told by a real estate agent one time that they've had houses appraised with central vacuums, and they're actually that central vacuum appraised out more for the appraisal on the home than it actually costs to install it. So it's permanent in your house, and it adds value to your home. And I don't think anybody would not buy your house if it was for sale. If I had a central vacuum in it, I could see where that would be a plus on a resale value.
Sure. Well, and when you take into okay, so you're not having to replace your vacuum cleaner every 3 or 5 years, depending on how often you use it, I suppose. You're not having to buy filters or run all over town looking for filters. That's my issue right now.
That's right.
And so you take all of those factors out of that, and you have your lifetime warranty. Wow, why would you not want one of those?
Yeah, exactly. And another thing you're talking about, the value, your resale value of your home and stuff. We've done this several times. Back a few years ago, we haven't done it lately. But if you're building a new home and you think you may want a central vac down the road, it don't cost very much to go ahead and have that house pre-plumbed for that central vac. If you're a builder, it's a great idea to do. Then your new homeowners, if they decide they want that, they want to buy it themselves, why, the plumbing and everything's there. It makes it so easy. Maybe not everybody will want one. I don't know who wouldn't, but for a very minimal expense, you can have that house pre-plumbed in the construction phase, and you're set up. So.
That is correct. We do offer a rough-in only on homes if it's a crawl space. That's it's going to be the least expensive way to go. If it happens to be a basement home or 3-story home where you're doing more pipe, it kind of goes up from there. But we have a builder here in town who builds a lot, and we rough in every house he does. Then he'll use the install of that vacuum maybe to help him sell the house or whatever. But we usually finish them out after they've been sold, and so that's worked out for a good relationship between him and us.
Sure.
And yeah, we will rough it in for a very minimal amount. Yes, but we do that.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
So if you're thinking about building, and building is kind of picking up some.
Oh,
there
yes,
are
it
some
is.
people building.
Sure.
There's a lot to think about when you're building a new home. I get that, and there's lots of details and everything. But
Sure.
it's something you might want to think about, because
Right.
maybe if you don't want it immediately, you might want it down the road. So it would make
Yeah.
sense to go ahead and pre-plumb for it,
Yeah.
have it there, and then when you're ready, go ahead and put your system in and
Exactly.
use it that way.
Yeah.
And I think I was telling you before the show that at one time we had a camper that had a central vac in it. Only one I've ever had, only central vac I ever had. But it was really neat to be able to do that, is to just plug that hose in and vacuum that camper with just that hose without having to drag around a machine. Because, a lot of times in campers, you don't have a lot of extra width or space to be dragging around a vacuum cleaner, that type of thing. And it worked really, really well. The one I had, it's been several years ago, but the one I had actually had a bag in it, which would make sense in a camper, I would imagine. But as far as working well, it had a lot of power, and it did a great job in cleaning the carpets and all that in there. So I would imagine it wouldn't be any different in a home. Probably even a better system in a home than what they could put in a camper. Because, like I said, I had a bag and some things to deal with, but it still worked really well.
Yeah, we've done that, put them in motor coaches and boats and things like that. But yeah, you have to use a different type of system that's got a bag in it or something like that. But yeah, we've done those too.
Because obviously you're not going to put a hole in the side of your boat to, for the dirt to exit out of the central vac.
Sure,
That
yeah.
probably would not be the best option.
No, probably not. And and I tell you what, for these guys that do a lot of work in their garages, where you're a car guy or whatever, your hobby guy, why you can have your unit in your garage, and you can have an outlet right in there. So, I mean, you can use it to vacuum your cars out and everything else. So, man, it'd be a great deal.
How many times have you gone to a car wash and tried to use their vacuum
Oh, it's
sweeper?
horrible.
Oh,
I
my
hate it.
gosh. No power whatsoever.
No, or drag
No.
your old shop
Yeah.
vac out, and try to finagle
Well,
it around.
And those ones at the car wash are heavy. It seems
yeah,
to
you
me
got
like
that big old hose and
yeah, and so you're trying to wrestle this thing, and then you're trying to get it in this little space between the seat and the door or
yeah.
something. Oh, it's
then
horrible.
you'll end up sucking up the quarters that
Yeah.
you forgot and left, and then they're gone.
It'll pick up everything but the dirt.
but the dirt. Yeah, that's about right.
Well, speaking of the weight of a hose, I'd like to throw that one in there too. We do run into people in the past that say, "Oh, I've had Central Vac, I hate it." What'd you hate about it? Well, I didn't like that heavy hose.
Oh, really?
Our hose is the lightest hose in the industry, and it's designed right too because airflow. I've been talking about airflow. Airflow is key. You can have suction, but no airflow, nothing's moving. And a proper type hose that's got the right texture on the inside, so we want to move that airflow. And so that's the nice thing about our system too. It has
Right.
it has a smooth interior finish on the hose, as well as it being a lightweight hose compared to a lot of other brands.
Right.
Well, Tom, we're going to have to take a break right now. We've already used up half of our hour, but we will be back, so please stay tuned for more Home Repairs and Solutions.
Here's news on the Ozarks News Network. The fate of a possible Walmart neighborhood market at Grand and Campbell has been put on hold. A circuit judge has granted a temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction that will halt an August election that would give voters the opportunity to rescind a city council vote to rezone the land involved. A church that now owns the land filed to stop the vote so it can sell the property to the retail giant. A public memorial has been scheduled for Springfield developer John Q. Hammonds. The 94-year-old Hammonds died on Sunday. He developed more than 200 hotels in 40 states during his 52-year career. The memorial will be held June 11th at 1:30 at JQH Arena. And a 13-year-old boy who went missing from his home in Webb City has been found dead. The body of Freddie Williams was found in a pond in a wooded area north of the Webb City High School, the victim of an apparent drowning. For the Ozarks News Network, I'm Arlen Summers.
And the Cardinals are the Texas League champions here in 2012.
Check out the Springfield Cardinals in their 9th season at Hammonds Field. Every Tuesday is Dollar Dog Day at Hammonds Field, featuring $1 hot dogs, thanks to our friends at Great Southern Bank. The future of Cardinals baseball is right here, right now. Visit SpringfieldCardinals.com or call 417-863-2143 and get your tickets today. Escape to Cardinals baseball.
This is Larry Dablemont inviting you to tune in to KWTO Radio every Sunday morning for a brand new outdoor program in which we'll be talking about all aspects of the outdoors. I hope you'll join us. 8 a.m. Sunday, KWTO Radio.
Larry Dablemont's Outdoors is brought to you by Farmers Insurance Agent Mark Powell.
Hi, folks. Tim Keithley for Morning Line. Have a great weekend. Then join us Monday morning. We'll update you on the weekend's news events. Always take your phone calls, plus traffic and weather. Join us 7 to 10 weekdays for Morning Line on AM 560 KWTO.
Hi, I'm Bob Edwards with MoDOT. Join us for Talking Transportation at 10 a.m. each Wednesday. This week we'll preview this summer's pavement sealing program, scheduled to get underway in early June. That's Talking Transportation, 10 a.m. Wednesdays. You can hear us on KWTO AM 560, the Talk of the Ozarks. Catch us on the web at radiospringfield.com.
Well, I went down to the hardware stores.
And good morning. Welcome again to the Home Repairs and Solutions Show. It's brought to you by Spring Mountain Air, your local Amana dealer. And again, here's Mary.
Welcome back.
Good to be back.
It's always good to be back. It's always good
Oh,
to.
yes.
Last week I couldn't say that because you weren't here.
Because I wasn't here.
No. So anyway, we had to skip that part of the show last week.
Well, I'm sorry. I try not to do that very often. I will have a couple more coming up, but
I know. I know.
you know how it is. It gets Starvey Creek time.
Hey,
and
it's hard to
stuff,
find good help.
Yeah, you still are looking. I'm sure.
I'm just picking on you.
I know it. I love it though.
No. You're the best. You're the best.
Well, thank you, Mary. So are you. So, you all do. We've been talking about Central Vax and you all do more than just Central Vax over there. At,
Correct, uh-huh.
Yeah, and I had a gentleman that actually sent us a text the last half hour, and I told him we'd talk a little bit about this segment. Moved into a new house. In his old house, I take it he just has, since we've changed the way we watch TV, you used to just put a set of rabbit ears or whatever on, and you watch
Foil.
Yeah.
Foil on the rabbit
foil on the
ears.
rabbit ears, and you got your 3 channels, and we was all happy. Now you have to have a digital antenna and stuff. But where he used to live, he got 9 channels. Now, since he moved, he gets 1 channel. What can he do to boost that signal?
Well, it's kind of neat how that guy would have texted in on like that, and we never talked about that. But yeah, that's what we do also. And the name of our company is Central Home Systems.
Central Home Systems, yeah.
And besides Central Vacuum, we do voice intercom, radio voice intercom. We do home entertainment, security, and security cameras. Anything that has to deal with low voltage. That's what a lot of companies kind of look at that. But I'm the same guy. I don't like paying the cable bill and things like that, and I use an antenna also. And we have done those. I know, like some certain stations in some places are a little hard to get certain stations and things like that. But I happen to live in Springfield, so I'm pretty fortunate. I do have an antenna in my attic that just one of the older fashions inside your attic, the ones you put out, and just getting it going the right direction. So I mean, it's what I have learned in the past with digital and all that, just by going to people's homes and looking at their situations. It has a lot to do with the antenna, it has a lot to do with location, but I know when the digital was coming out that they were just having some issues, but most of those have gone away except for one of the major broadcasters is a little bit harder to pick up. But a powered antenna, but even the old-fashioned large antennas, they still work really good, and you'll get all your high-def signals on that. But other than that, if you're having troubles, it could be just because of the location that you're at.
Okay. So he may just need to, if nothing else, switch to some kind of satellite TV or something, I guess, But hey, I'm kind of like you. Don't like to pay for it if I don't have to, So, but yeah, a powered antenna. And I know when we first moved, it was going to be like a month before we got our satellite TV, and so I bought a really good powered digital antenna, and but I live here in Springfield, so. But this gentleman's in Lebanon, and so maybe a little different, there.
So all of our towers are out towards Fordland and things, and so that gets a little farther away.
Yeah. So you might, Brendan, you might check into that. Go to your local TV shop down there and see what they suggest, and electronics store, whatever. And check on buying a powered antenna.
Can you not put boosters on antennas? I'm just asking.
I don't know where you can or not.
You can get boosters, but then you can also get booster signals for if you're having multiple TV locations, and you can put a coax booster on that to where each TV's not draining much of that power off. Excuse me. But yeah, there are boosters for your antennas that you can buy.
Right. Right. So
I don't know how well they work, but
no.
Anyway.
I know it.
I just pay the cable bill.
There you go. Yeah, sometimes that's what you got to do. So, we were talking, of course, about if you're going to build a new home, you can get your house pre-plumbed for the central vac. You can do the same thing with if you think you want to do surround sound later on, you may not want to do it right now. You can go ahead and get that house pre-wired for all your surround sound and entertainment. And if you do it ahead of time, then down the road, your budget allows, why... Then
exactly.
They can give you a call and say, hey, we decide we want to go ahead and do this. So
you save a lot of money in the future by doing all your pre-wiring and your roughing in of central vacuum beforehand, and you can always finish it out later.
And you do intercom systems?
Yes, intercom too.
Well, I'm thinking that if I was building a house today and I had small children, I would pre-wire their rooms for intercom, because when they're teenagers, they don't hear very well.
Yeah.
And
they
then
call
you could
that
get
texting. You text them.
Yeah. No, I would be on the intercom button or beating on the door or something. But I'm thinking, that'd be great for a kid's room when they don't get up the third time. You just blast them with the intercom.
There you go.
Yeah, the intercom we use, you can turn it on from any location, run the volume up, and
there you go.
That'll help get them out of bed.
There you go. You got to think about these things. You know, life
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those
So-
kids don't always listen when they're teenagers.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not only the kids that don't listen. You know, I have a problem of I have selective hearing sometimes myself, and I'll be in. I'll
Okay,
be
so
in-
it'll work for husbands
It
too.
works for husbands too. I'll be in. This is the truth. I'll be in another room in my studio room working, and my wife will text me or call me from the living room. I'm like, can't you just holler at me? You know.
She probably
She's
has
like,
been.
Well, I do, but you don't hear me. You know. So there you go.
Lots of options these days to get people's attention, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
So are intercoms? I mean, now that we've said that with these phones and texting and all that, are people still doing a lot with intercoms?
Well,
in their
nice thing
homes?
about an intercom, a lot of people doing, of course, audio and wanting to get music and sound through their house.
Mm-hmm.
And with an intercom, it's almost almost just a freebie that kind of comes along with it.
Oh, I see.
You know, most of our clients are a little bit more, you know, I don't like saying old, I don't like saying young, but a lot of times they're the old, you know, older people and things like that, and they're not what I call the rockers and want their hair sticking back when they're listening to their sound system.
Yeah.
So it creates a nice, just a good background music. It does have good sound, good power, but then you got the intercom function out of that too, and then you can also integrate it into a stereo system or even like a cable box to where you know you want to listen to cable TV, a football game out on the back deck, or even have those radio stations the music stations that you have on the pay TVs and have that piped through your house and just have some background music going on and so. With today's technology of integrating things together, it works out pretty good. And they even make them with integrated iPod docks and things like that too. So it compared to like a whole house audio system, sometimes the intercom's cheaper and you get both worlds out of that
Right.
intercom and music.
I didn't realize that. There
No.
we go. See, I'm thinking intercom is just something you're going to talk on and
Yeah.
get, try and get someone in the next room to come and eat or whatever it is you're trying to get them to do. But
Right. So yeah, it would be neat. Pipe your music throughout the house and just like you say for background if nothing else. Why it'd be
nice soft music.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be good.
set the mood.
Yeah, except I play my music pretty loud.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm still kind of one of those loud screaming.
You're one of the rockers, aren't you?
Kind of, yeah.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
I am. I like it,
Yeah,
but
that's all right. So 862-9977, 1-800-375-0056, or send us a text at 417-838-3192. We'd love to hear from you today, and we're talking Central Vax. We're talking home entertainment systems, security cameras, all kinds of things out there nowadays that people use around their house. And the camera thing is really interesting to me. Do you do the cameras more just for a security purpose? Is that, or just, if you want to watch your kids in there, make sure they're not tearing something up?
Well, in years past, when I tell people now, when you think of security system, it's just some insurance that you're having. It's there when you need it type thing. Same was with cameras and things. But with today's technology and things, I tell people now you can use it as a nanny system. You'd be able, instead of just having that insurance there for when that God forbid, somebody breaks in or something like that, which is a low percentage. Well, now you can interact with that system, like using your cameras as a nanny cam. Your kids come home, they come in, they let themselves in, and put their code in. A camera can take a picture of them and email it to you instantly. With the proper security system, you can do like a mini smart system with your home. You can regulate lighting, the thermostats, the door locks. Of course, your cameras and garage door openers, things like that, can be all integrated into your security system. So it becomes so it no longer is something that just sits in the background and is there when you need it. It's there in front of you now, where you get more interaction with it, and it kind of makes it worth more investing in something like that because you're getting more out of it. But
Sure.
yeah, it's come a long way. Prices have gone down. The packages are different compared to what they used to be, and everything just. In a sense, everything can be integrated together, but still it won't vacuum your house though. But
Right. Well, I know the used to when all this smart home and all this started happening, where you had all these systems that did everything. It was pretty expensive.
It sure is.
And but I'm sure you can save people money, the different ways that you can tie everything together to save folks money and stuff.
Do you have one of the things we were talking about is you're talking about this rating that you guys have on your vacuum system.
Yes.
Tell people how that came about, because I think that's important to know. We're into building green and doing things green and that type of thing. And there's different things that get rated, like our heating and air conditioning stuff. We have different ratings for energy efficiencies and greenness and that and the other. But you also have that for your central vac system.
That is correct. That's a very good question. I was thinking about this earlier. With the construction of new homes now, let's go back to after World War II, when you buy one of those bungalow homes, and people buy those still today and talk about how drafty and cold it is. Those are probably for a while, it's probably the most healthiest homes to live in, because your air recirculates in your house about every 30 minutes. That means you're not breathing the same air, it recirculates. Well, now with newer homes, with the new insulation, the windows, and they're so tight, the air can take up to 10 hours to recirculate. So that means the same air that's in your house is there for 10 hours. And we was talking about this earlier, the ventilation system that builders
The ERVs.
Yeah, and what that system was when what Mary's talking about there, when they started making these homes so tight, then they found out they had a problem. They had to come up with a solution for that. So they came up with this house ventilation system that brings in fresh air into your crawl space and things like that, and your bathroom ventilation all works with these systems. Well, when you do that and you've got an airtight home, and you have a vacuum cleaner, and again back to your pull around vacuum cleaners, putting all that dust back into your cocoon of air in there, which is not going to get rid of it. It's just going to take longer. So when you install a ducted central vacuum system that's vented to the outside, it qualifies in two different categories. There's two organizations out there that rate homes for type certification. You got the NAHB, which is the National Association of Home Builders, and they have the green points. And then you have the LEED, the lead for homes. And when you put a central vacuum in there, and our central vacuum qualifies under these, and it'll add 5 points to an NAHB rating system. It's kind of like going to school and getting a report card. You got to score on this, and then on the LEED program, it gives you a point. It gives you a rating of 1. You get 1 point with that, and so that's another good thing about the central vacuum system, because it'll actually add to that rating that you've got to get it up there so high to qualify for that.
Right.
And I didn't even know that they rated those type of things. I mean, I
didn't
know about
either.
other products, that they rate, but I didn't realize that they would rate something like a central vac system. So that was an interesting point to me, because there are a lot of people that are concerned with green building and that type of thing. But like you said, in the process of doing that, you've got to make sure that you don't end up with sick air syndrome.
That's right.
So that's something that you have to look into and think about as well. And this is one of the ways that you can help with that situation. So one of the things we haven't done, and we run out of time and then we have to push this in, I don't want to do that, is we haven't told anybody how to get a hold of you. We haven't given out your phone number, your name, your location, anything. So why don't we do that?
Well, thank you. Again, our name of our company is Central Home Systems. We've been in business in Springfield for almost 40 years. We've been at the same location for over 25 years. It's over in the old Twin Oaks Shopping Center. And if you've been around for a long time, you know where that's at. But if you're not, it's on... Our address is 1221 East Republic Road, and that is just east of Redeemed Music and Books, off of the northeast corner of National and Republic Road. And our phone number there is 887-7810.
And you also have like a showroom area there where people can come in and look at these products, like your central vac systems, and kind of see how they work, and they have someone there they can ask questions to, and all that type of thing.
Yes, we're there from 8 to 5. There's always somebody there, and somebody qualified to be able to show and demonstrate. And sometimes when it gets a little bit more technical, they'll call one of us, and we'll just come on over there and help them out, and we just go from there. But yeah, we showroom, we have everything on displays, especially with the central vacs and all the information there to help you make a decision.
Right. I know John West has been helping my family for years. I mean, all my uncles, great uncles, and stuff were builders here in town, and they have used him for years, and he's always took good care. And we've used him through our construction company too. You know, when we do a big house, we usually will plumb it for central vac systems. We haven't done that for the last few years because of the economy, but always call you guys. Yins are the best.
Well, and something else people need to remember is you don't necessarily have to have carpet to have a central vac system.
No.
You were telling me
No,
a
it's
lot of
true.
people are going to wood floors and stuff, which I love my wood floors. But like you said, you can sweep them and that type of thing, and it can still leave a little bit of a residue on the wood. And with your central vac system, you have like a microfiber pad, you were telling me, that you can put on that attachment and actually do your wood floors with this as well. And it will make it look like it's been mopped, correct?
That is right. I don't know. I've heard this a few times. You talk to somebody about central vac, and they'll say, "Well, I don't need a vacuum. I don't have any carpet." Mm-hmm. Well, you still bring the same amount of dirt in your house.
Sure.
The only true thing about that, it's a lot easier to get the dirt out of a house that doesn't have carpet because, of course, carpet's going to it's always going to collect things that's really hard to get out. And again, you know, back to the power that we have. Of course, it's going to. I feel like we have the best system. It's going to get your carpet clean. But however, when you have the wood floors, in the past, and I've done some remodeling and construction myself, or just doing some stuff at the house, and you can take a broom and try to sweep up sheetrock dust and always see a film left over,
Yeah.
or you take a shop vac and there's film left over. But if I get my central vac out and put a horse-haired brush on it, run it over there, it'll look like it just been mopped because it pulls it up and it's gone and it's out. So it's very, very good because hardwood floors have cracks in them. You're going to have the cracks around your baseboards and things like that. And if you're just sweeping again with the broom, all you're doing is stirring up dust. When you move that dirt with a central vac, 100% of it's gone. You're not redistributing the dirt.
Well, and most people, and I do this myself, I have wood floors and I love my wood floors, but I still have throw rugs down in certain
Yeah.
areas of the house. You know, I still have a rug in front of my kitchen sink. I
Sure.
have a throw rug in my living room in front of my fireplace. I mean, so you do have areas where you still are going to have a rug somewhere.
We have a
some
large
type.
selection of devices or attachments that to put on there. You know, for throw rugs and so forth. Shag carpet. We still have people that come in want carpet combs for shag,
Really?
Wow.
shag carpet.
Wow.
Reminds me when I was a kid. Well, that's one of my
yeah.
chores. Take a leaf.
The rake,
and
no,
the rake and rake the
Rake the
carpet.
Oh, done that.
So we have all those, and you mentioned the microfiber. We have dust mops that have the microfiber on it, and they're washable. You can they Velcro onto the attachment. You just take them off, throw them in the washing machine, and we have things out there nobody's ever seen before, and there's just all kinds of neat things that you can put on into that for your dog. You know, once you get your dog used to it or your cat, they like it.
So you can even vacuum your dog.
That's right.
Really?
Just
Wonder how Tucker'd
Just
like
stick
that.
the hose to the hand brush, and you stick your hand inside the handle, and you just brush the dog, and
And
takes the
so
hair
all
off.
of that hair goes
Yeah.
right through this instead of all over the
Yeah.
place.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Now that is pretty cool.
Another
Yeah.
really neat thing about Central Vac too is called, for the real diehard people who don't like that hose, there's a system called Hide-A-Hose. They go to the inlet, open up the door, and they drag the hose out of the inlet.
Okay, so it's shoved
Yeah.
back inside the wall.
It sucks the hose back up the pipe.
Wow.
And you pull the hose out, and you click on the handle, and it's radio controlled back to the system. Put your attachment on and turn it on, and you're done. You know, and use it when you're done. You
Wow.
disconnect the hose, and it sucks it right back up the wall.
Wow.
Wow.
You know, house cleaning isn't my favorite pastime anyway, but if you're gonna do it,
That'd make it
su-
fun.
Make sure. Well, you want to get it as clean as you can. I mean, what's the
Sure.
point of doing it and it's
it's-
still not clean?
Exactly.
Well, there's another true story for you. Yesterday, we just finished out a new home here in Springfield, and I took the lady her tools and showed her how to use them, make sure they're using them right, and things to look out. We make sure we talk to our customers, show them what to look out for, what not to do, and things like that. And she said she had a central vac at her other house, but the look on her face when she used that, she said, "I'm not." And that's what she said. She goes, she just moved to this house, and she said, "I'm not using my cleaning lady anymore. I like this thing. This is fun." And that's a true story. That was yesterday.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like it that well. I might still want my cleaning. I don't know if my cleaning lady had fun with it.
Yeah.
I'm
Except-
sure she's gonna hire her back, but
Except I'm my own cleaning lady, so I don't know how that's going to work. But
Well, yeah, that could be a problem there.
I don't pay her very well either.
Well, I think it would definitely make cleaning a lot easier, a lot better, and like you say, your the dirt and stuff's when it's gone, it's gone. It's not floating around still in your house. You're not just stirring it around, and you know, and that's been one of my big issues over the years since we was talking about houses being built tighter. You know, when you have to open a door or a window to get the fireplace to burn, that house, in my opinion, is too tight.
Yeah.
And, you know, other than the fact that your utility bill was a little higher, I'll take an old drafty house almost any time because I really think that people were healthier when they lived in the old drafty house.
They were.
Yeah.
You don't. You have to be careful you don't get that sick air syndrome.
Yeah.
Not only in new houses, but we're doing commercial properties the same way, which we really didn't get to touch on today. We'll have to have you back, but you also put these in commercial properties as well, and you can help with lots of different commercial applications. You were telling me that you put it in this one in their powder coating room.
yeah, we've done them all the way from vet clinics where the groomers use them, hair salons are popular, and the car dealers around here, and where they detail their cars, and Kmart, Incredible Pizza and things. But also we've done them in commercial. Yes, we Miracle, the recreation place down in Monette. They have a powder coating room, and we designed a system for them that would pick up powder coat dust
Which is
been
very
laying around.
fine dust for people who don't know how
It's
powder
fine
coating
like
works. but-
sheetrock dust. It's flammable, and we had to do an explosion-proof system for them. But commercial and whatever your needs are, we can do it.
Wow.
I would think a vet clinic would love one of these. I mean, you
Oh,
just got to
yeah.
have hair and stuff just everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. Give all your information out one more time.
Central Home Systems, 1221 East Republic Road in Springfield, Missouri, and our phone number is 887-7810.
Well, Tom, thank you so much for coming. You've been a great guest, great information. I'm sure our listeners out there, some of them we've got them thinking now about some different options available to them, but maybe they didn't know they had before.
Yeah.
So, and maybe next time we have you on, maybe John can come with you. But tell him we said hi.
I will.
Wish he could have been on, but
Yeah.
it was great to have you with us. So,
Thank you very much.
what you got going on?
You know, gonna go to St. Louis and
Are
see
ya?
the grandkids this weekend, and
Good
so
deal.
yeah,
Good deal.
and so it's gonna be fun.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Grandkids are always fun.
Oh yeah, what are you doing?
Well, right after the show, I'm headed out for a massage.
Oh, hey, there you go.
My daughter got me one for Mother's Day, and I'm gonna take care of that today.
Be a good thing to do.
It would be.
Well, this is Home Repairs and Solutions. We're heard every Friday morning from 10 to 11 right here on AM 560 KWTO.
Bob, I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And join us next week on 560 AM KWTO for the Home Repairs and Solutions Show, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air, your local Amana dealer.